All right, hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Faith in Home Buying, equipping people of faith for the home buying process. I had a great and eventful week this week, and it started off with being able to be a part of an amazing talk about gentrification and poverty in communities of color. I was joined with the panelist Forrest Williams, amazing man, and it was sponsored by DFCS Prevention Bureau, and it was hosted by Elizabeth Stewart and Rocio Abundis. That was on July 29th, and it was a great time to kind of speak to those that were kind of in the community of Santa Clara County, talking about different things that I kind of been talking about leading up to even today with regards to redlining, in regards to gentrification and housing discrimination, displacement, and how communities can combat this, and especially with going out and being really, really active in their communities and in their political arenas that they are allowed in. And it was a great time, great conversation. And just to kind of continue that on, it's been amazing, even in talking about one of the things regards to HUD properties, HUD homes, HUD properties. And a lot of people have no clue that this stuff exists. And so I figured this would be a great time to talk about some of the resources that are available to first-time home buyers, and also available to those that are looking for down payment assistance. It's a really great way in which you can utilize resources that are actually out there, and before you know it, actually be a homeowner. And so kind of stay tuned for that. We're going to talk a little bit about that. But first, we're going to do a little activation. Talked about that. Activate, educate, empower. Today, activation actually comes from Proverbs 16, Proverbs 16:1. And I would like to read that for you. Hold on. All right, so Proverbs 16:1. So go ahead and make all the plans that you want, but it's the Lord who will ultimately direct your steps. We are all in love with our own opinions, convinced that they're correct, but the Lord is in the midst of us, testing and probing our every motive. But before you do anything, put your trust totally in God and not in yourself. Then every plan you make will succeed. I think that's just pretty poignant. It says, then every plan you make will succeed. And this particular passage goes very, very hand in hand with kind of one of my clients, actually several of them just recently, that have gotten into homes, and even those that I've referred out into other areas. There's a good handful of them. And I say this all the time when someone comes and does an initial buyer's consult, right? And they say, okay, how do I get started, especially if they're a person of faith. How do I get started? Where do I look? What do I do? Well, first and foremost, the practical aspect, you have to get pre-approved, right? That's the biggest thing going through that process. But then the even more practical than that, especially as being a saint or a person of faith, is praying and asking God, where do you want me? And I've said this many of times, where do you want me? Where do you want me to be a light? Where is my provision at? There's an unction of having home ownership inside of me. So I know it didn't come from, anywhere, especially in this crazy type of climate, right? So because of that, it's, God, where do you want me? Where do you need me? And I've seen it happen over and over again. And one of the situations that have just, happened, it was a person that heard the radio show, and, she went and she got pre-approved and kind of went through that process. We had a great conversation, prayed with her, and she started her process again. She's did it before, but got very, very discouraged, I think, with the people that she was working with. And that's a whole nother thing too, all depending on who you work with, that can make or break a lot of your deals, whether that's your realtor or it's your lender too. So just be careful and mindful who you have on your team. And I've, spoken about that before. But long story short, she ended up going through the process, and she finally, long story short, she finally ended up in contract on a home that actually is better than some of the ones that she had missed out on previously. And it's a great story to really see, and just how it was, hearing something on the radio, or going through, sometimes people see my website, or they see the different things that have been written as far as reviews, and so they take a chance and they call, and lo and behold, the experience is amazing, especially when they let go of their guard on what they want and what they think that they want, especially in an area. A lot of people, they say, well, I want a home, but it has to be in San Jose, or it has to be in, Sunnyvale. And it's like, well, wait a minute. Where are you called? Maybe it's not there. Maybe there's a family, maybe there's a community that needs you there and needs you to be a light, because that's what we're called to be, right? We're called to be light. We're called to be salt of the earth. So therefore, a light on a hill that just shines. So sometimes, the unction and the belief of home ownership is not necessarily for us. A lot of times we're thinking, oh, to build wealth and to create generational wealth. Yes. I think that's very, very important. But it also is too, when you look and you see the plans and that God has for you and the desires that he has for you, it ultimately, it isn't about you. Matter of fact, majority of the time, it isn't even about your family. It really is how you can be a light to the kingdom of God. Of God versus our own personal desires, or our own personal um, thoughts on where we think that we need to be, because we want a 5-bedroom house, or whatever the case may be. But that's just an encouragement. I hope it's an encouragement of knowing that, and I see it all the time, they're not the only ones, guys. I can go on and on about just even another client that thought that another area was the area that they were supposed to be in, but the original area that they had, there was a home that was exactly where it needed to be, especially on the same street that it needed to be on. And we looked in a different area. The guy said, I'm bringing you right back to San Jose, in the area that I told you that you were going to be in. And this particular home was everything that they needed, and what they had originally offered on. And long story short, they beat out over 15 offers in order to get it. Again, provision. When it's there for you, God has it for you. And no matter if you even try to go out of a different area, as long as you keep the prayer and saying, God, where do you want me? I'm open to that. He will direct your path. Amen to that. So when we come back, and actually just I'm going to give a little bit of an intro to a lot of the mortgage programs that are out there. Now, granted, you can go through and have, your regular traditional way on which you get homes, and that's okay too. But you can also have outside the box ways in which you can obtain home ownership. And I just want to make sure that, people know that you may not be able to do it the traditional way, and that's okay. There are so many other programs and resources that are available for down payment assistance, especially if you don't have, 20% down. There are resources that you can do in order to help you out. Even if you have zero down, there are also resources. Even if you are a first responder, or a person that is, a firefighter, a police officer, an EMT, a nurse, there are actually programs that you can utilize from government properties that you can actually obtain home ownership. There are programs that, that fit in first-time home buyer programs that you can maybe be able to fit in, that are actually sponsored by the counties that you live in. So today I'm going to talk more about the California programs that we have, those that are in the Silicon Valley as well, different empowerment homebuyer programs, touch a little bit on below market rate properties and homes, and kind of give you that information. The information that's available and that is actually, that is out there. And, I tell you what, there's no shame. There's no shame in being able to go through a program that's going to help you with home ownership. There's no shame in being able to see that there are homes that are, for instance, on the housing of urban development site, and seeing that these homes are actually available to first-time home buyers, nonprofits, and government agencies, that they're available to you at a fraction of the cost that they were. I'll talk a little bit about why HUD homes are HUD homes, and who can actually apply for them. You'd be surprised, it's across the board. Everyone but investors can actually get their hands on these properties. I've actually had clients that were able to go and purchase on these homes, FHA property homes, and they actually marry very, very, very well with FHA loan products. And why? Because they're both federally backed, government backed, especially loans, and they marry each other very, very well, especially even with programs that they have out there. Why? Because it's all designed, it's designed in order to help home ownership and kick off home ownership in communities of low to moderate income families. And, so that being said, I think one of my, if you didn't know, I have like a little TikTok thing that I do. Yeah, me. Yeah, I have TikTok. And I've found it's gotten so much great traction on actually just talking about just hud.gov. And that kind of led me to something like, wait a minute, that is right. There's a lot of people that have no clue that these homes exist. And so we're going to dive into that in our next segment. And I'm hoping that you have your pen and your paper available. Hopefully I don't go too fast so that you can write down these resources and information. And if not, always can either call me or either, at 408-561-7922, or either check my website and give me a contact information, Tamika Ellsworth.com, Tamika Ellsworth.com. I'll see you in a few in order to talk about some of these resources. All right, so we are back. This is a really, really fun topic for me, talking about down payment assistance programs and the resources that are out there for us, specifically for California, specifically for the Bay Area, and even the Silicon Valley. But I'll be focusing a little bit more on the programs that are pretty much in Santa Clara County, because that's kind of where I'm at broadcast wise. But there are other ones in Alameda County, San Mateo County, San Francisco, Placer County. They're everywhere. So specifically, the first one I'm going to dive into is called NACA. Now I hear this one a lot, with NACA, and I've had clients that actually try to go through the NACA process. Truth be told, it can be a long process, tedious, with a lot of paperwork, a lot of going into your personal life, but in the end, it's actually a great program. The whole point of the NACA home ownership program, it was to answer huge subprime and predatory lending industry problems. And they work with those that have kind of like not the best, credit, but they're able to have advocacy against predatory and discriminatory lending and have great loan products that can actually help people get into homes that wouldn't otherwise be able to do a traditional loan or lending. But they're pretty, thorough in who they choose and how they choose. One of the things, a little highlight on the NACA program is, let's see, it's no down payment, 0%, no closing costs, which is just huge, because closing costs usually, specifically in the Silicon Valley, it can range between $8,000 to maybe $12,000 or so dollars on top of your down payment. So that's amazing. No fees and no requirement for perfect credit. So, those that are having credit problems, and they actually help you go through the credit process in order to fix your credit if necessary. And a lot of it is at below market interest rate. Well, go figure, because right now interest rates are really, really, really low. So, I don't know, I think they're probably about the same as they would be, because I think let's see, now about 2.75 for a 30-year fix is what I have for those that are using regular traditional lending. But that being said, NACA, N-A-C-A, is the acronym. So NACA.com, NACA.com. HUD.com, and that stands for the Neighborhood Assistance Corporation of America. It is a nonprofit, but they do, their primary goal is to build strong, healthy neighborhoods in urban and rural areas nationwide. NACA.com. We also have HUD. I'm very familiar with the HUD homes because I've had clients that actually utilize HUD properties, and we offered and bidded on particular HUD properties. And so hud.gov is HUD Homes. That's the website. Don't go to any other site, because they have sites that are not HUD property homes. Specifically start with hud.gov. If it doesn't have that and it's asking for a credit card number or any other information, that's not it. It's not the right site. So hud.gov. If you go and you click on, let's see here, the search for HUD Homes, and you search for HUD Homes, okay? And once you do that, it'll take you to a screen where it, probably like the first line or so, it'll talk about going in and looking at single family homes. It's like one of the first ones that you can click on. If you go to that, and it's homes for sale, going to that link will bring you to a huge screen that talks about homes. You want to click on, make sure from HUD, single family homes, HUD for sales. It's going to take you to another screen. You're going to leave the HUD website and go to the hudhomestore.com. So don't do it any other way as far as searching, but go through hud.gov. And from there, you can pick your state that you're going to be in. From the state, you can pick then the homes that are going to be listed. And already they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7 new homes that are exclusively, no joke, these are exclusively for first-time home buyers or owner occupants, and not investors, nonprofits as well as government agencies. So they have properties, and granted, you have to look at the counties. This is different counties: Solano County, Amador County, San Diego, Fresno, Kern County, Madera County, Riverside County. So it's different counties that you can actually search for these homes at. And we're talking, homes at 220,000, 280,000. And some of these homes too, and these are 4-bedroom, 3 baths, 4-bedroom, 2 baths. These are big homes. Think about HUD properties and why they're HUD homes. Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac products, specifically if these homes are foreclosed on, they bring them to the market so that the public, especially those that are anywhere from low to moderate income housing, they can actually bid on these properties and not have to worry about bidding with investors. That's the big part to this. And why not? Shoot, why not be able to get a home or a property, and you don't have to bid with an investor who's willing to put cash money in, because these are prices that they can do it, right? Cash money, properties. And if you don't have an agent, you do have to work with an agent that is able to bid on these particular properties. They have to be HUD certified. However, you can also go to the website and click on it, and if you're a first-time buyer, it'll go through the whole process with you. So 203K eligible. What that means is renovation loan. You can actually get some of these homes, some of them need work, but you can get a renovation loan that's tied into your FHA loan that specifically repairs the home or repairs the items. So just know that there are many different options. I can't go into all of it right now, but again, hud.gov, you can actually get into a home, and you can get a loan program that will help you repair the property to make it habitable. And there's different loan programs for that. Again, FHA homes, FHA, Federal Housing Authority, 3.5% to get these particular loans. They actually marry very, very well with these properties. And I've had situations where even HUD homes, they actually took care of the Section 1 termite on the properties too. So they try to make it easy and affordable for people to have homes. And that's one of the great resources that you can do. Also on that website, did you know that there's actually a program that will help you get in? So for instance, law enforcement officers, kindergarten through 12th grade teachers, firefighters, EMTs, anyone that contributes to community revitalization while becoming homeowners, they can go through the HUD's Good Neighbor Next Door Sales program. Can you believe that? and it offers a substantial incentive in the form of a discount of 50% from the list price of the home. In return, you have to commit to live in the property for 36 months as your sole residence. I'm telling you, teachers, firefighters, emergencies, EMTs, this is for you. Now, granted, you have to sift through, what properties are available, but you can still bid on these homes and bid against other people just like you, and not have, someone that's dropping a whole bunch of money down in order to get the homes. But a lot of times too, they cater to those that are going through their FHA program that don't have a lot of money down. So that is one way that you can get into a home, and that's the Good Neighbor Next Door on hud.gov website. There's also one too. Did you know that you can get into a home for $1? Yes, you can. Yes, you can. HUD's Dollar Home Program Initiative, it helps local governments to foster housing opportunities for low to mid to moderate income families by offering an opportunity to purchase qualified HUD homes for $1 each. Basically, these homes are single family homes that are acquired by the Federal Housing Administration, which is part of HUD, as a result of foreclosure actions. But these properties are available through the program whenever FHA is unable to sell the home for 6 months. So ultimately, they're able to sell it for $1 on these homes that have been sitting for 6 months. I'm telling you, if you have patience and a little bit of outside the box thinking, you might be able to score a home for $1. Now, granted, there's not a lot of them up right now, but I'm telling you, it's about to come. Unfortunately, because of what we're going through, it is something that you might want to look into. All right, but they also have too with HUD, and I'll finish with HUD, is property improvement loans. So even if you don't have a HUD property, you can actually go through and have home loans that will help with the structure of a property, and help you get grants or loans really that will help you change the basic livability of the property. So that's also on the website too, about Title I property improvement loans. So even if you have an FHA, you're already in a house, you can actually go through Title I in order to help you make repairs to the property. So that's another way in which you can help, modify the home that you even have. Then of course, people have heard about CalHFA. CalHFA is another one from California that helps with down payment assistance program. You should look that up. That's CalHFA, that's CalHFA.ca.gov. I'll say it one more time. CalHFA.ca.gov. Another great program. And in wrapping it up, there is what's called Empower Homebuyers SCC program. I gotta say this because they have open application period, August 3rd through August 12th. Go check it out. And this is on the Housing Trust of Silicon Valley. So Empower Homebuyers SCC. And ultimately, this is from the city of Santa Clara. They help with 20% down payments for those that can't purchase a home or securing a down payment that may be out of reach. And so you put in 3% of your money, they make up the rest of the 17%, so you have a full 20% down. Go check them out. It's Housing Trust of Silicon Valley, and they have their open enrollment period August 3rd into August 12th. You gotta go through, you gotta see these things. They have programs. So now I'm wrapping up because my time is almost done. But if you want more information or you're interested, give me a call. 408-561-7922, send me a text. Or you can also find me online, TamikaEllsworth.com. But again, that number is 408-561-7922. I'll be happy to walk you through some of the options that you have, but the programs are out there. Utilize them. Don't think that homeownership is out of reach. This is Tamika Ellsworth. Hey, where I'm equipping people of faith for the home buying process, faith in home buying. I'll see you next week.